Hello, bootleggers! Here I am doing another video blurb for you today as your SpeakEasy post. I guess that would be a blurb. Anyway, I want to talk to you about something that can be pretty tricky and something that we kind of don't like to talk about, and that is pricing. All right, so everyone get their out. And I only want to talk about two aspects of pricing today to get us talking. Again, every blurb, everything is a conversation starter. What do you do? Why do you do it? And also to kind of expand your mind a little bit in kind of the understanding of what pricing is, how it functions in a business relationship, and how it functions for our field, voice teaching. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the psychology of pricing. And I'm not talking about the psychology of the client yet. I am talking about the psychology of you, okay? How your pricing affects how you feel, what you think, and what you do. And the second is a segue from that, which is pricing for value and not for time. Okay, so really quick here, the psychology of pricing is very interesting because what happens, especially as voice teachers, is we have only been modeled a way to teach that operates under the myth that artists need to be starving and operates under the myth that teaching is a side hustle to something like performing, unless you are in an academic situation. And so now we have a bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of lovely humans like yourself who own businesses. You own a business. You are a business owner, right? You're not just a voice teacher. You own a voice studio. I own a voice and acting studio. Whatever you own, that's what you own, okay? And when we set our prices, what we tend to do is instead of talking to ourselves first, we talk to the market first. So we go out and we do our research and we say, well, how much are all the other teachers charging, okay? And the reason why I don't really think that that's the best way to do it is, number one, you are not all the other teachers. You're not them. You don't offer what they offer. They don't offer what you offer. So why would you guys charge the same thing? You have different services that you are offering, even though you have similar content, right? Your content isn't the issue. The package is the issue. Why are you going to charge the same? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is when you come from a market value perspective is that now you have to build your budget based on what you think you're going to make instead of starting with what we call reverse engineered budget, which is where you start with what you want to make first. And then you back up and you see, what do I have to charge and what value do I need to add in order to charge that? What brand capital do I need to build in order to charge that, in order to make what I want, rather than looking at my budget as this is what I expect to come in, therefore I can build my budget. All right, the second thing about the psychology of pricing is that the way that you choose to price will directly affect how you interact with your client. If you are charging something that you feel is under what you are valued, that will translate into the experience that you have with your clients. Okay? You will become resentful. You will become irritated. The littlest things that they do will piss you off. They will cancel at the last minute and you will be angry. They will want extra work from you and you will be eye-rolly and feel flustered and overwhelmed. Okay? And that's all because you do not feel that you are getting what you are putting out. Then that we call that return on investment, right? So that you are not getting a good return on investment. You are investing your knowledge into this person and they are treating you like they just can get it whatever they want from you, right? So that psychology affects it. Now, when you make the decision to start charging what you want to make instead of what you think you should make, it gives you so much emotional freedom and so much emotional power in the relationship that now you start to become a giver. You start to become a person that expands the experience for your client, which in turn increases your value and increases your brand. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. Just think about that. Tell me what you think about that. The second thing I want to talk about is a bounce off of that, which is charging for that value instead of charging for your time. So I really would love for you to all start thinking about time as the tool that we use in order to create space for making value. Time is a tool we use, not what we are selling. Your product is not time. Your product is not 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Your product is everything you know about the business. Your product is the way you uniquely approach a male voice. Your product is the way that you learned. It's your personality. It's how you are different than any other teacher in your location. And it's how you value your students. It's the relationships you have. Everything that makes you you is what you are selling. And that's where our clients are coming from now in this generation. Okay, we no longer, thanks to Apple and Target, people go for the brand that they trust. And you are your brand. We are our brand. And I think, brand is kind of it's one of those words that feels icky when you first start using it. But then when you really think about it, it's just your personality. It's who you are as a person. And where it gets scary is when we start trying to manipulate our brand, and that's why then it starts becoming something we are not. So back to this time versus value thing. I would like you to start thinking about, while you use half-hour or hour sessions as a tool to create consistency, a tool to create, viability in how you schedule your life, that you remember that your students, what you're charging for is not that hour. You're charging for what they get in that hour or half hour. You're charging for all the back end work that you do and are doing for them. You're charging for kind of the emotional drama and stress it is of rearranging schedules and redoing things and showing up last minute. You are creating a customer experience, a client experience that is not the same as any other teacher. They don't get to come in, check off their box, and leave. You are creating a relationship with them. How does this work, Michelle? How does that even work? Everybody wants their time slot. Everybody wants this, that, and the other thing. They want it because they don't know any different. They want it because they've never been treated like a relationship. They've been treated like a commodity. And when we all go through our schooling and everything, the entire story that is told us all through our training is half-hour slots, hour slots, 45 minutes. This is how much cost, right? So to wrap your mind around the fact that you are not selling your time takes energy. It takes, and then it takes the next step. That's not comfortable. I don't feel good about that. Okay, why? Why don't you feel comfortable? Do you not feel comfortable because you don't know how to do it? You don't know what it would look like in your model? That's what it was like for me. When that first started to come to me, I was so overwhelmed with, but how? How does that even work? I mean, I got a schedule. How do I schedule? Right? And then you go through that process of just trying to figure that out. And that's what I want to talk about in Slack. It's what I want to talk about in SpeakEasy. But I really want you to start valuing who you are and what you give as a teacher that is different than anyone else. And knowing the answer to that question will then allow you to backtrack from your reverse engineer and decide how much you charge. Are you going to lose students? Maybe. Yeah, maybe you will. But the great thing is that when you start doing that, the students that then come into you, they're already bought in. They're already bought in to your new rate, your new business model. You're going to lose the people who weren't necessarily your best fit anyway, and you're going to gain the people who are your best fit. That is going, again, back to the psychology, that is going to increase your joy in teaching. It's going to increase your passion in teaching, and it's going to increase your motivation to help your client. And ultimately, as voice teachers, we tend to teach like this. It's my business, my policies. You have to do what I say, instead of, I am here to solve your problem. I am here to make it all better for you. What can I do to serve you? Right? Knowing that we already have the policies and the procedures in place to allow us the freedom to budget our lives for generosity, to schedule our lives for generosity. Okay, so let's talk about it. Tell me what you think. We'll start going down the bunny trail of pricing, and I will talk to you later.